Hello everyone, so welcome to today's video. In this video we are going to make a snake game in vanilla JavaScript. So we will be using our up, down and right and left arrow key to move the snake. The snake will eat the food and grow in size. So we have a sound whenever the snakes eat the food, and the snake will die if it collapses with the wall or collapses into itself. So there's also a sound when it collapses with the wall or itself. Below you can see there is one panel for score and one for highest score. So let's just start building. So before doing anything, let's just first clear up the local storage for the high score so that we can create a new game from here. I'll close this demos. I will close this demo server, and now let's just go into VS Code and I'll create an index.html file, a style.css file, and an game.js file. Okay, so in the HTML file we'll load our boilerplate code and give it a name, snake game. Next thing what we have to do is we'll give it a h1 tag with the name snake game, and we will place a canvas over here, and I will give it a ID of game. We will give it a width and height of 400 by 400, and there will be a div for control. The control div will have a button. It will have a class name of reset. We will have a div for score and another div for high score. Now in the score div we will create a span with the class name of score, and we will give it a value of 0 as the default value. Now we'll create another span with the class name of high score, and we'll give it a default value of 0. Now we'll create another div, the last div, and here we will type in the instruction. So it will be something like this: use up, down, left, and right arrow keys to play. Okay, so now this is our HTML is done. So let's just load up the local host. So it is looking like this. So next thing which we have to do is we have to style our HTML. So let's just go into styles.css, and before doing anything we have to link our CSS and JavaScript file. So let's do that first. Okay, so I have linked our files. Now in the styles.css we'll give some basic styling to our web page. Padding would be 0, box sizing would be border box. In the body we will have a font family of monospace. Text alignment will be center. Height would be 100 VH. Display would be flex. Flex direction would be column. Align item would be center. Color would be white, and background would be linear gradient 90 degrees. And we'll put in a hex value I, sorry, 1 C B 5 E 0, and we'll put another hex value of 00, sorry, 00851, and we will be giving it percentage of 0% and 100%. So let's just see how it is looking right now. So this is how the game is looking right now. So let's just style it for further. We'll style the H1 with a margin of 1.5 rem and 0 rem horizontally. Font size would be 3 rem. Canvas would have a box shadow of 5 pixel, 5 pixel, 10 pixel, and 5 pixel with a color, with a drop shadow color of 00. This one. So now we move on to controls. Controls will have a margin top of 2 rem, display of flex, and align item center. Now we will style all the elements inside the control div. We will give it margin of 1 rem, font size of 2 rem. Now individually we will also style the individual elements within the control element. So reset button would have a style of 1.2 font size. Padding would be 0.5 rem. Border would be 3 pixels solid, and on 3 pixels solid, and outline none. Cursor would be pointer, and we'll give it a hover style also to the reset button of background color, we and a foreground color of white. So we are done with the styling. You can see it is looking nice now. It is looking nice right now. So let's just now move into the main part of the video, which is the game.js file. So first of all, we'll select the game area, that is the canvas, by document.get element by id, and we have named it game. So yes, now let's just pull that up, and now we will add, we'll get the context game area dot get context 2D. We will also pull up the score button, query selector, or score the high score display uh, document dot query selector high score. A reset button will get the reset button. So document dot query selector reset. Okay, so now let's just declare all our variables. So let speed, high score count, tile size, tile count, head X and head Y, snake body, tail length, food X, food Y, game in play dx and dy, and last is score count. So okay, so we have defined all our variables which we are going to need in this video. Now let's just create a init function which will initialize our game. So it will initialize all these variables. So let's just make. So first of all, what we'll do is we will set when we initialize our game, we want our reset button to disappear. So we will do reset button, reset btn tile dot display to none. Okay, so reset by btn dot style dot display is equal to none. Now let's just move on to head x would be 10, head y would be 10 as well. Snake body would be an empty array. Tail length would be 1 because initially we want our snake's tail to be just one cube long. So yes, tile size would be 10. It is the size of the tile. So and tile counts would be 40. There will be 40 tiles horizontally and vertically. Food x would be 5. Food y would also be 5, the initial value of food. And game in play would be true because we are playing the game. Dx is the velocity on the x-axis would be 0, and dy would be velocity on the y-axis which would also be 0. So next thing is score count. So score count initially would be 0 and speed would be 200. So the lesser this number, the faster the snake will move. High score count would be 0 as well initially. Now what we will do is we will create another function. We'll call another function over here, draw game. So it will draw the game and we'll be starting it. So first of all, what I'll be doing is I'll here calling the init function, and here within the init function we are calling the draw game. So let's just create the draw game function. So the draw game function would be something like this. Set timeout would be callback function, and here we'll be putting the speed. Inside we'll be calling the draw game again, so it will create a infinite loop over here. So it is called the game loop. So now let us just first of all we will draw the snake. Okay, so first of all I just console log, I would just console log one over here. So let us see what whether it is working fine or not. Okay, so it is working fine. So now let's just draw our game, sorry, draw our snake. I'm calling another function draw snake. So let us just move there. So in the draw snake, first of all we will create the head of the snake. So it would be ctx dot fill style is equal to yellow. I am giving a color of yellow. ctx dot fill rect would be headx into tile size head y into tile size. Now tile size into tile size. It is the size of the head. It is done. Now I'll be giving it a stroke style fill ctx dot fill stroke style would be black, and ctx dot stroke rect would be headx into tile size, sorry, tile size head y into tile size, sorry, and tile size and tile size to provide the size of the border. So let's just first see how it is looking right now. So yeah, so there is a small cube over here which represent the head of the snake. So now let's just create his body. So currently our snake only has one one tail, so one tail cube. So let us just create that. So ctx fill style would be green, ctx dot fill stroke style would be black, and here we are going to create a loop snake body dot for each, in which body would be ctx dot fill rect body dot x into tile size body dot y into tile size and tile size and tile size to provide the width and height of the cube. So ctx dot stroke rect would be body dot x into tile tile size, body dot y into tile size. Basically, we are repeating this over and over again. So tile size, comma tile. So this is done. Now, one final thing is we will push this array with a JavaScript object of x head x and y colon head y. So yeah, now we'll create a while loop. So it will loop until the snake body dot length is greater than the tail length, and we will do is snake body dot shift, so it will remove the snake's body from the front. So let us just see how it is looking. Okay, now this is done. So currently the body isn't showing because it is overlapping over here. So let us just first go further and see what we need to be done right now. So let us give movement to our snake. So let us do that now. So it will be through a function called move snake. So let us create this function move snake const move snake is equal to the arrow function, and snake would move when head x plus velocity on the x-axis and head y velocity on the y-axis. So we'll be increasing or decreasing this velocity, so it will change its position. So here, so snake's head would change its position by it. So let us move further and add a event listener now. So here is the event listener. So document, we are adding the event listener on the document object. So add a event listener for key down. So every time a key is pressed, so it will get triggered. So I'm calling key press handler. So let's just create this function now. Const key press handler. So we'll be getting this event. So what we'll do is const code is equal to e dot key code. So now what will happen is the key code of our keys would be stored in this code variable. So Now let's just check if it is up, down, or left or right arrow key. So for these, the codes are like this: 57. We'll copy and paste it 4 times: 57, 38, 39, and 40. These are the code for up, down, right, and left arrow keys. So let us just build it. And I'll also have to add one more thing, that is, if you have to add one other condition, so it will only execute if dx is not equal to 1. So this one is for the x-axis. So first let me show you this way. Dx, that is on the x-axis, -1. So it will move toward, snake will move towards the left side, and dy would be 0. Now 38 is for the key up, so it is for the up arrow key, so it will be dx is equal to 0, and dy would be equal to -1. So next key would be 39. 39 is the key code for right arrow key. So let us just find the velocity. So dx is equal to 0 and dy is equal to, sorry, dx would be +1 because it is right arrow, and dy would be 0. Next thing up, next thing would be for key code 40. So key code 40 is for down arrow key. Yes, it is for the down arrow key. So dx would be 0 and dy would be 1. So now let's just see if our snake move or not. Okay, it is moving, but there's some error over here. Okay, yeah, so one thing we forgot is we didn't add the clear canvas function. So if our canvas is not refreshing, it has to refresh with every new loop. So let us do that first. So yeah, so we'll clear our canvas and giving it a background color as well. So it would be ctx dot fill style, and it would be gray, and ctx dot fill rect, and it will be 0 comma 0 comma game area dot width and game area dot height. So okay, so now it is looking good as well because we have a background color for our canvas, and you can see now our snake is moving. Next thing is we have to stop the snake from moving in the opposite direction. So if it is moving down, so it can't go up, and if it is moving left, it can't go right, and vice versa. So for this to stop, we'll add another condition over here, which will be dx should not be equal to 1. So it is just the opposite of dx minus 1. So our snake doesn't start moving in the other direction. So which is not appropriate for the game. Here dy would not should not be equal to 1. Should not be equal to. So dy should not be equal to 1, and here dx should not be equal to minus 1, and dy should not be equal to minus 1. So yes, now we are done. So let us see now. Yes, so we have now restricted the movement to the opposite direction. As you can see, I am pressing the down arrow, but the snake isn't moving backwards. So yeah, we are good to go from here. So next thing which we'll be adding is next thing which we should add right now is the food. We'll create food right now for the snake. So draw food. So our food would be of CTX fill style of orange and CTX fill stroke style of gray. No, we'll keep it black because gray won't gray won't show up on the uh, gray background canvas. So we'll put it black only. CTX fill rect would be foodx into tile size, food y into tile size, comma tile size, comma tile size. Yeah, this is done. Now let's just create the stroke. Uh, Fill stroke. Stroke rect would be food x food x into tile size, food y into tile size, and tile size, comma tile size. So now the food is showing up, but we have to do one thing is that whenever our snakes collide with the food, it should it should the food should change its direction, and the snake's tail should grow longer. So let us now create that. So inside our draw food only, we'll type further if food x is equal to head x and food y is equal to head y. So it is the condition when our our snake's head touches the food. So in that scenario, food X would be mat.floor mat.random into tile count, and food Y is equal to the same thing. So it will, every time it collides with the food, our food will go on to a next random location within the canvas. So now what we will do is we will increase the tail size by giving it tail length plus plus, and we'll increase the score count as well by putting score count plus plus. So now the game should work properly. Yes, so as you can see, the tail size has increased, and also the food has also uh, and the food also went to a next random location. Now one thing which remains is it should also uh, not collide with itself. So currently the snakes can collide with itself, and also it is getting disappeared in if we hit the wall. So it is, we should collide with the wall, and whenever the snakes collide with the wall and whenever the snake collide with itself, the game should end. So let us now see how we can do that. Before doing that, let's just create a score counter. If score count score dot inner inner text is equal to score count, and we'll check another condition. If score count is greater than high score count, then high score dot inner text should be equal to score count. Next thing is we'll add this thing to the local storage, which we will add this high score to the local storage. So we'll create local storage dot set item snake game underscore high score, and we'll paste score count over here. And we will retrieve this high score from above at the start of this function. So it will be if tail length is equal to 1. In that case, high score count will would be equal to local storage dot get item snake score snake game underscore high score. if this is equal to null, we will initialize it with 0, and if that is not the case, what we'll do is we'll create local, what we'll do is local storage dot get item snake game count. So this is, it is now not, it is what was not looking good properly. So here you can see it properly. Now high score dot inner text would be equal to high score count. So this is, now we have made this. So let's just see it whether it is working or not. Yes, so currently the our score and high score is same because we are playing it for the first time, and you can see the score is increasing. And if we reload it, so you can see high score is 3 and current score is 0. So if we again start playing and move, so you get the idea what is happening over here. So now what we'll do is we'll come back to our, so we have come back to our program. So next thing what we will do is, yes, so we'll increase the snake speed at 3 intervals. I've taken 3, you can take more or less. So the speed will increase or decrease when we increase, if we increase this number from 200 to 300, its speed will come down further, and if we decrease it to let's say 100 or 150, the speed of snake will increase. So let us do that now. If score count is equal to 5, then speed should be equal to 100. No, it should be equal to 150. 100 would be too fast. Else if score count is equal to 10, speed should be 100. The speed should be 100. And else if, one more time, if score count is equal to 15, the speed should be 50. So now let's just see this in action. So I have to reach the score of 5 to increase the speed. So you can see the speed got increased over here. We can increase the speed further if we reach the score of 10. So let us see that as well. You can skip this part if you are getting bored over here. Yes, so our speed is increasing as we go further. Let us just test till 15 and then we'll be back to our VS Code. Yes, so our speed has increased to the maximum level which we have set. So now let's just get back and we have to create something for the collision with the borders of the canvas and when the snake collides with itself. So let us see how that works. So what we'll do now is we'll cut all these things apart from move snake. We'll cut all this and I'll create a if statement with check game over. So when the game is over, it will only execute this block of code then only. So here I will do is show game over and we will return. So we'll come out of this function. So now let's just create first of all we'll create check game over. So let us create that check game over. If head x is less than 0, that is the boundary wall on the left side, or head x is equal to the tile count, the that is the right side of the mm, boundary wall of the canvas, and tile count is 40 and our canvas is divided into a grid of 40 and 40 grids, so yeah, it will collide them. And head y is less than 0, and if head y is less than tile count, so this is the same thing but for the y-axis. So when this happens, we will return true. That is, our game has gotten, our game has got over. So next thing which we have to check is for the collision with the snake itself. So now let's just create this head x is equal to, so if head x is equal to snake body I at I position x and head y is equal to snake body at position y, and if the tail length is greater than 1, so that it doesn't uh, it doesn't declare game over on the first count only, on the first attempt only. So now let us open the if statement. So in that case it will we will return true. the game has gotten over. So what will happen here is if our head collides with any of the body parts, so it will declare the game as over. Next thing is we'll just simply return false. That means the game has not gotten over. Now next thing which we have to do is we have to create a function show game over. So it will display the text game over. Now I'll create it here only. So this be show game over. So it will be ctx dot fill style. I'll keep the color to a basic white color, and ctx font would be also a basic Arial with a font size of 50, and ctx fill text would be game over, and we'll put the position. So I have tested this position 60 by 200, so it was looking good. So if we collide to the left side, we get a game over. If we collide to the right side, we get a game over. If we collide to the top, we get a game over. And if we collide to the bottom, then also we get a game over. So now let's just check for the collision with itself, whether it is working or not. Yes, so the collision with itself is also working. So now, since we have built this much, now next thing which we will do is we will show the reset button so that we can reset the game once it has gotten over. So in the draw game, inside this if statement, what we will do is game in play would be false, since because the game has gotten over, and reset button dot style dot display. So right now we'll show the reset button once the game gets over. So now now let us do a game over. So reset button shows up. If we click this, the game should reset. So let us now create this. So it is pretty simple. So what we'll do is, first of all, I will see if I have taken the reset button. Yes. So we will add a event handler to reset button. It would be add event listener, click, and it will call us function reset game. I will create it over here only. So it will be const reset game would be equal to if game in play is false, then only we will call the init function again. So it will reinitialize everything, and our game will start all over again. So let us see now. And now I'm clicking the reset button, and as you can see, game has now gotten reset. So yeah, now it is looking good. Now let us see what more improvements can we do. So our high score persists even after refreshing because it is saved to the local storage. So now let us add some sounds. So what I'll do is I'll copy these sound and here I will create a folder with the name of assets, and here I'll paste all these sounds. These are two sounds. One is for eat. It will play when the snake eats a piece and eat a piece of food, and game over is when the game gets over. So let us just set this up. So let us create the sound for eat first. So I have to search the draw food function. So here it is. So here only in the bottom I will create a variable const sound is equal to new audio, and here I'll provide the path to the audio file slash asset slash eat.mp3, and I'll play the sound.play. So this is done. Now let us give a sound for game over. So now let us do that first. For that I have to go all the way up to the draw game function, and within this block of code inside the game over, so here I will place this. I have to type it all over again now. The const sound is equal to new audio asset slash game over dot mp3 sound dot play. Now let us see. Okay, there is a sound. Whenever the snakes eat food, and there will be a sound when the game gets over. So it is working perfectly now. So so yeah, that's it for the video. So thanks for watching, and if you like this content, uh, please subscribe to the channel and like the video and share it with others. So yeah, thanks.